Dude, I'm recording here. Hello everyone and welcome to the Q&A, which I wanted to do quite some time ago. There was a lot of stuff that I had to do and so it got delayed, and then more stuff came and then it got delayed even more. But there we are. Finally, I picked as many questions as I could. My aim was to get 100 questions, but the more I got through them, the more I realized a lot of them just repeat or we already answered them in the previous Q&A. So instead, we are going to go through 70 questions. And because I don't know how long it will take, let's just jump right into it. If a crit does 200% damage, how much does Necrit do? Well, in most European countries, Necrit actually means it didn't crit. Does Kindred really exist, or are they just tales from the people of Valorant? I actually asked Riot about this a while ago, and I believe I asked them if Kindred is real or if it is really just a superstition or anything like that. And the answer I got from that is that people that saw Kindred, they would say that she is definitely real. Which means there is possibly something that if you trigger it, then, you know, Kindred will appear in front of you. So I don't think they were mad or, you know, that they got crazy and suddenly they saw like the spirit of death or anything like that. But there may be something like Jenna. You know, if you pray enough, Jenna will appear, and maybe if you reduce something in a certain part of Valorant, then Kindred will appear. What is your favorite nation in League? That would be Targon. What would you like to do when you grow up? This. Why Riot hasn't hired you yet to be a narrator? Well, that would be because I have no experience with writing. I may have good ideas, I may be good at leading people and just working together with people, but if you ask me to write a story, there would have to be at least 2 other people to correct everything I write. Necrit, what is your favorite champion on League at the moment? Well, that would be probably Jhin. Do you even lift? I actually don't. If you could release a lore-based skin, which one would it be? It would probably be Pre-Curse Yorick. What is your accent? That would be Czech. Do you like to read books in general, or do you like reading lore from video games? Mostly the games. Which updated lore is your favorite? That would also be Yorick. Did you ever play Star Wars The Old Republic? If so, which class was your favorite? I believe I leveled up Bounty Hunter to max level and then I just quit. Is Jhin Kindred? Nope. You still haven't answered how long your penis is. Well, that's still not a question. Do you think there will be a lore in the future for my beloved Evelyn? Yes, because her current lore is pretty much just a huge cliffhanger. Are you friends with Mundi? I would say yes. I recorded a Necrit and Chill with him in the past, once, and I kinda screwed up the audio and I couldn't release it, and now I am afraid to talk to him. If you could, which champion's power would you want to obtain and possess for the rest of your life? Probably Twisted Fate's Destiny. Would you like to write a short story for Riot? If yes, what would it be about? It would probably expand Targon and Aurelion. I would love to just write a story about another super galactic god. Maybe not the Void, but another, something like Aurelion. If you could have one wish granted by Riot, what would it be? I would love to finally see PvE lore scenarios in the game. Why do not you talk about the story of Cassidy? That's right, we have other cat. We don't only have Eddie, we also have Cassidy, which is the black cat. And the story goes that that was maybe 10, 11, maybe more years ago. I don't really know how old is she. But we basically found her. There was a dog. The dog was running around our house, and he had a little kitten in his, well, teeth, mouth, whatever, jaw. And we were like, you know what? We'll take that cat. And so we got it. If I have a picture, I'll pop it somewhere on the screen. If I don't, well, you can just imagine a black cat. What was your first main? That was Cho'Gath. What was your first job? This. Why is your voice so perfect for storytelling? That would be because I understand the dynamics of voice. How did you have the idea of Thank You Come Again? That was pretty much a joke, because back in the day, at the very beginning, I was making videos and people thought I was Indian, and I was like, let's do the most Indian joke I can think of. And so I just said, thank you, come again. Ta-da! Hang on a second. Are you liking your own comments? If I ask you out for a dinner, will you? Pain? Who do you actually play in League, and can you maybe upload some gameplay someday? I was actually thinking, maybe, what if I did something like a full game Friday? What if every Friday I just released a game? Because a lot of you actually enjoyed my Vel'Koz gameplay, and a lot of you just keep asking me, why don't I release more gameplay? I thought it would be boring, I thought no one would be interested in it. But the more I think about it and the more I read comments about it, you guys may actually enjoy it. So maybe I will do something like that. And I play mostly Jhin now. Sometimes, well, that's pretty much it. And then I just, maybe Shaco jungle. I recently got into that. Come on, Necrit, we really wanna know how long your duck is. Well, you still are not asking me questions. Do you play guitar? Yes, but not really amazingly well. I can play Sweet Child of Mine. What's your favorite food? That would be IKEA meatballs. Will you do other games lore sometime in the future? Well, it is sort of inevitable that League will eventually fall, and when the time comes, you know, I need to make a living off of YouTube. So I guess I will switch to whatever is at the time most popular. Or just whatever I like, I mean that would be the better answer. Why do people hate Yasuo? He is balanced, Kappa? Well, it's probably because people don't realize that you can kinda crap on him in the early game and they only see the fed Yasuo, although, you know, if you start a game, don't think about him as if he was fed. Just go and punch him in the face, he can't really take it too well. Do you think there will be a full-fledged League of Legends novel series? It would be dumb if there never really was, because it is just a really clever and good advertising for Riot, so I hope so. Can you do Draw My Life? I was thinking about it way back when I was, well, when I was doing the 100,000 subscribers video, and I realized Draw My Life is something that you can only really do once, and it is only for really big milestones. So if I ever happen to get something like 500,000 subscribers, then I'll do it. When will we see Eddie do Rengar's lore, or more Eddie in general? He is sleeping currently in my closet, but you know what, you just gave me a really good April Fool's video idea. How did you learn your amazing storytelling technique? That's basically, you just need to listen to a lot of storytellers. I think the one that influenced me the most, and a lot of people can tell, is Noble, who's doing the World of Warcraft lore. And I really don't want to copy him, and I don't think I'm copying him, but you can tell that if you really listen to someone speaking, you kinda just own the way he talks. So that was definitely a huge influence, but outside of that, I don't know, it's natural. Do you play other games than League of Legends? Currently, which means 2 days ago, I finally got into Titanfall, which is awesome. But yeah, I play, you know, whatever everyone else is playing. I'm a gamer, I play everything. I play Overwatch, I play World of Warcraft, I play Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, I play League of Legends. I don't play Dark Souls because I'm awful at that. And what else? I play everything. Which location do you think Riot will they update next? I would say finally Void. Can we get Void finally? That would be nice. Other than League and Overwatch, what is your favorite game? Mass Effect series. Would you ever recommend smaller channels you like in order to help boost their success on this platform? Yes, definitely. I never really wanted to do this because I always thought like people would kind of think I'm selling out, even though, you know, they are smaller channels. But definitely, before even Magikarp did it, I used to promote Red Riot a lot. And I want to really promote Chibin, because he's helping me with the 3D animations. And, you know, those two are the main ones. I don't really want to go, like, into others, just in case you're, like... I just want to help others. What do you like about League of Legends? Probably the diversity in the characters you can find in their stories. How often do you play League? I try to play a few hours a week, minimum, because I don't really have to play the game. All I really do is just dig through the stories. But to feel connected with the world, I always try to play League whenever I can. So, minimum 3 hours a week. Do you think there is any way Riot can fix Talia without reworking her entire kit? Yes, there is. All you need to do is change her Q, because her W and E amazingly work together, and her ultimate is just so unique I wouldn't change it. Her Q is the only thing that just you can change it and no one will really mind. How often do you drink alcohol? I am what we call a celebratory drinker. I only drink alcohol on celebrations. You know, I don't really like the taste of alcohol. What would your job be if you didn't do YouTube? I would probably try and get into the video game industry somehow. Not sure if as a writer, because you usually have to be a writer to write stories, but I always had the talent to just teach myself new things, new programs, so I could either get into art, as in like pixel art and something like that, because if I get into bigger things, that would take a while to actually learn it. Or I could just get into the development itself, coding and stuff like that. Can Cyan really use magic? The answer is maybe. He was resurrected with the blood magic, which would hint that maybe he can manipulate it a little bit. Maybe that's why his shield is actually made out of blood, somewhat, at least to the graphics. But his E is just a shout, just a really powerful shout that can throw around minions. And his ult is just charge, nothing special about that. You know, he's big, so you can't really stop him, but nothing special. How do you like the lore in Overwatch? I didn't get too far into it. I just read about a couple of the characters, but I think because there aren't really, or at least I think there aren't really any huge events yet in the lore, it kind of feels like it's stuck at the moment. But the comics certainly help. Thoughts on Warwick rework? It worked. Do you like the character design of Bard? I really like it actually, if you talk about visual side, because the story is kinda empty. But as a character design, that's really good actually. I'm thinking who was before him and who was after him, so I could compare it to the other newer champions, but you know what, he's okay. What YouTube channel do you enjoy to watch? Game Grumps. Are you going to do a lore quiz with Magikarp? I don't know, would he be interested? Máš rád knedlíky? No, docela jo. If you were able to go to the future or the past, where would you go? I would go into the future because I wanna see if humanity actually survives going into the space. And then we got something amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time I actually got a video response, and for obvious reasons I can't really show the video up, because I don't know if the person would be okay with it, but I got a question in format of a video. So, there are two questions which a lot of you asked. One about Kindred, the explanation on Kindred, and then Soraka. Kindred is just so confusing. I made a whole special video about it and nothing really changed ever since that, but I really want to see what happens with Kindred at this point, because is she really real or is she just a superstition? But at the same time, those who saw her, they actually saw her, which means somehow you can summon her or somehow you can see her. But, well, I mean, that's it. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is Soraka. With the rework of Warwick, we can safely say that Soraka right now will turn into something else, because she definitely is not a celestial that tried to help Warwick and that was just kicked out of the celestial heavens or whatever there is. And because just Warwick probably never met her before, we don't really know what happened to her. So Soraka, we're just waiting for an update. And I bet as I'm saying this, there will probably be an update already on the site, so I really hope I didn't miss anything. But yeah, we don't actually know anything about Soraka right now, sadly. What is the least interesting lore in your opinion and why? Man, that's actually a tough one. The easy answer would be someone who has no lore, maybe Gale or Morgana, because we don't really know anything about them. But the most boring lore, even though, you know, it's someone who has actual lore, would be the one that I'm gonna say just about now. Maybe Lulu? I would say Lulu. Because that's like, yay, I saw a Pixie Dixie world. And I got taken in by fairies. And I'm magical now. Yay. Do you think the Watchers will return? Yes I think, because if the plan was not for them to return, why would Riot put a character there with a giant horn to summon everyone in case they return? That's just like storytelling 101. Have you ever played or do you play Guild Wars or Guild Wars 2? I believe, if I remember correctly, I think the class is called Thief in Guild Wars. I just played Guild Wars, I got a Thief to max level and then I quit. Similar to Star Wars. Did you ever play a Souls game? Yes I did, and I quit very early. Which Overwatch hero is your favorite based on lore? That would be Shimada Brothers. Do you think we will get an update on the lore about the underwater places like where Nami comes from? Yes, the question is when, because I certainly can't see an event that would push it forward. Maybe because now we had Zone and Zone was talking about when they broke the opening, you know, into the land so that ships could go through. Maybe that could somehow push forward the underwater world? Maybe? Do you play Hearthstone, and if you do, what is your favorite expansion pack? That would be Old Gods. Thoughts on summoners still existing? I really hope they don't turn them into something similar to what they were before, because that would just ruin everything, and I really hope that summoners will be something like a cult of mages that can basically teleport either themselves or someone else, and maybe control someone, mind control someone a little bit. But nothing on godlike scale. Which champions do you play the most? That would be Vel'Koz, Sona, and I believe it's Udyr. Is there an archetype that isn't already a character that you would like to see be made into a character? I think that League still doesn't have like a proper mage or anything like that, like a mage with like a proper robe and a staff. You know, there's always a combination of a mage with something else. And if not that, there isn't anyone who's really money hoarding, is there? Like a little bit of a Jew, but without the offensive word. What is your favorite League of Legends meme? I was about to say Mordekaiser. Is the present just the future of the past? Well, the present is technically the past because everything you do, everything you see, everything you feel is already from the past, because if you feel something, then the nerve has to get to your brain, and that is already something from the past. If you see something, the light obviously has to travel, which means what you see is also from the past, and if you hear anything, well, I mean, the sound is actually slower than light, so what are we even talking about? Does League ever get boring to you? Yeah, obviously, as any other game, the more you play it, the more you risk that you'll get bored of it. So just play another game for a week or two and then get back to it. It's easy. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. If you could pick one power, what would you pick? The power of flight. How did you get into League of Legends lore? Was that a Eddie Scad hair floating around? I remember back in the day, a friend of mine told me, that was like in season 1 maybe, he told me that Karthus is basically Garen from the future. And I was like, bullshit, I'll check on it. And he was wrong. And that's how I got into it. And the last question, which should be actually question number 71, what kind of champion would you like to see in 2017? So, let's try and predict at least one champion in 2017. There will be a goddamn Void champion. I'm telling you now, there will be a goddamn Void champion. There's just no way it won't. I've been saying that for maybe half a year now. There must be. Either the freaking entity or whatever there is as the god of Void, or maybe someone who comes from Ikasia, because Jax actually got a new story about it. Or, you know, Malzahar and Kasani has they have to have an update too. Where's my freaking Void champion? I mean, yeah. Where's my Void champion? And with that, I'll end this video. I hope you enjoyed this. I certainly did, I think. And if you want more of these, then absolutely feel free to tell me below. Also, follow me on my Twitter, on my Facebook, on my Discord, which I don't think you can follow me there, but you can join my room there. And I don't know. Did you enjoy this, honestly? Honestly tell me, because if yes, maybe I'll do more. If no, I'll get back on the lore, which I'll do anyway. I noticed that the Valentine's video was actually successful, so you know what? Thank you! Thank you! And with that, I really appreciate all of your feedback and all of your support. And absolutely, as always, thank you come again.